Hi, my name is David Bland. I'm the General Manager at the Theosophical Society in America, located in Wheaton, Illinois. We had the distinct privilege and honor of publishing Dr. Ed Tick's book entitled War in the Soul, which addresses one of the most pervasive problems that this country has, but yet does not want to admit. Not only did we spurn the veterans from Vietnam when they returned, we've also pretended that they came back as whole individuals, not as individuals who truly had lost their souls in an act of war and what I would call hypocrisy. We are now starting to address that, but the problem that we face now as a nation is that not only do we have a huge number of veterans still active in our society from Vietnam, we also have a cadre of veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan who are bringing back to our country an experience for young lives like they have never had before, to be never aware of where that aggressive act is going to come from. In Nam, we knew generally where the enemy was, and in many cases we could see them. But in Iraq, when you're dealing with an IED, or in Afghanistan, when you are dealing with someone who just walks up to you and pulls a pin and blows himself or herself and you up as well, that creates a huge amount of trauma, and trauma which they're bringing back to this country, and a trauma that you and I, as citizens of this great nation, must stand up to and must address. In fact, the federal government has done everything it knows how to do to pretend that that doesn't even exist. One of the most horrendous events in our country occurred at Fort Carson a couple of years ago, when the management or the generals in charge of that operation were actually denying soldiers who were asking for care for PTSD. That's ridiculous. And what we don't realize is that as those young men and young women get older, the trauma and the negative impacts that PTSD has on them now is only going to be accentuated and made far worse in terms of our society dealing with it. The book that we published, War in the Soul by Dr. Tick, describes not only beautifully, but very poignantly, that when you're dealing with PTSD, you're dealing with something in your heart, not something that you can take a pill to get away from, but it's something that you got to change in your heart, because as a nation, we changed it. We killed it, and now we've got to help them find it again. That is so true of what we are now facing from Iraq and Afghanistan. And I hope that all of us who are thinking about these things will mount an effort to find out who in your community is a veteran, and go to your church or your synagogue or your mosque and find out how you can help them. There's a website, Soldier's Heart, that you could find that would give you information on who in your community might be of help to you. I hope that my little talk might be of some help to veterans across this country.